Hi guys, welcome to tonight's Cassiopeia Schooner Project Report. I love ya. I'm sending it up there into the universe because I believe human love is one of the most amazing things that has ever been created in our entire universe, and I believe that we are the holders of that very concept about being alive in the universe. And I believe that if we share it with each other and with our planet and turn it into something that is the most powerful force on our planet with each other, then it will resonate into the universe and come back to us as a magic capability. There you go. The Cassiopeia Schooner Project Report is about the fact that we are trying to refurbish a vessel in order to use it to go spread compassion and love throughout the islands and all around the coastal communities and try and do something good. So there you go. That's our new extra introduction. And guess what, guys? Tonight, Facebook wouldn't let me go live. So I'm recording this as a video instead, because it would just tell me, it kept just saying, you can't go live. And the only thing I could do was hit OK. It said try again. So I tried again. I shut the phone off, turned the phone back on, all of that sort of stuff. So tonight's presentation is not live. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know. I mean, maybe I've actually finally been cut off from Facebook. Who knows? However, anyway, the reason that I wound up, I didn't, and I couldn't manage to get on last night, but not for the same reasons. It was mostly just because I was completely stressed out and couldn't figure out what to say to you guys that would be positive and instrumental in moving our project forward. And so that's what tonight's subject's about. Now then, one of the things that sort of stresses me out, of course, is our, financial situation and all of that. And so we did have a fellow who is one of our stalwart crew and contributors, and he actually sent a donation that, again, was earmarked for the Hip Hip Hooray part. So thank you very much, Daniel. We have something for the Hip Hip Hooray part. And so it's not, what you might have expected, but I just went and got some cheap beer and spent the rest of it on other stuff. Anyway, here we go. So tonight I'm just going to sit here and have a swig with you, and we're going to, and talk about what's going on, because it's really funny. We've been working on this project for a few years now. I have been doing this. I've been getting out in front of you guys every single night of my life, pretty much. For the first year and a half, I did it every night, and then I started doing it on weeknights. So I've been being this improv performer every night of my life in order to raise money, in order to do things, but not really, mostly just in order to share with you guys. But it turned out that, it was, it helped, or we had to. And so, but oddly, the reality of it, if you want to know the numbers, the fact is that in 3 years, this has generated, which doesn't all completely involve the improv thing. It also involves the idea and the fact that people are interested in spreading love and compassion around our world, and that's why they put into this. Doesn't really have to do with my performance capabilities, but anyway, it's still only earned 20 grand in 3 years. That's, I mean, a man should reconsider his career choices if that's what he's trying to do. I tried to create a nonprofit that could hire me, right? Anyway, so the thing about that is, I made a couple of notes about this, is that one of the reasons I brought you out here tonight is that in the initial stages of all of this, back when this whole improv performance thing started, it all had to do with taking you guys out and showing you nature. Now, I can't switch back and forth in cameras in this format, so I'm just going to have to, guys, this is why we are up to what we are up to, because there are absolutely incredible trees like this on our planet. I mean, just unbelievable. They've been here for hundreds of years. I'm not sure if this one's really that old, but you know what I mean. And then we have Mother Ocean. Mother Ocean with all of her rhythms and all of her changes. And as I just showed you, that is kind of weird. Look at this beautiful white sand that Mother Ocean threw up onto the beach at the Toxic Boatyard. Look at that. It's absolutely amazing. It's fine as powder. And it's fine as powder, and it's white. It's like, wow, how cool is that? So, you know, one of the ways that, you know, people can deal with stress, which is something that I have, you know, I am and have been obviously kind of suffering from, is to get out into Mother Nature. And that's one of the biggest parts of our project, is to get people out on the ocean, get them out into the sea, get them out around things that are good, that are positive, that are happening, that gives us hope and makes us feel good about ourselves because we're doing good things and all of that sort of thing. So, it's interesting for me because here I am, you know, and you know, there's lots of kinds of stresses, and this whole boatyard experience has been a huge kind of stressful thing for me. At first, there was a whole lot of people and a whole lot of stuff going on, and this and that and the other, and blah da 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 da, but then there's been, you know, no, not to say anything, but everybody who has a boat probably has financial stress about their boat, so you know, you don't get much credit for that. However, interestingly, I have allowed myself to be relatively stressed out about, you know, the debt that has been incurred. But to be quite honest, the debt that is involved in us getting out of the boatyard is less than the average American's credit card debt. So all you guys live with this all the time. I'm just not used to it because I've lived on the outside all the time. And so, like I've talked to you about living in the islands, about how it's not so stressful, about why are people so happy when they've got nothing and all of that, because they're just not stressed out. They're just, it's just a whole different type of stress. And I watched this TED Talk, and this woman who's been a psychiatrist for ages and ages and ages, there's been a lot of new data after COVID about stress. Imagine how stressful it is for all you ordinary people to have to live in your house with all of your family members and all of that sort of stuff. I mean, I'm used to that kind of stress because I've had crews on board my boat for 3 months at a time, and we're all living in a tiny little space together where you can hear people burp and fart and all that stuff. And it's like, you know, it's wow. And so there was a lot of studies done recently about stress and COVID, and you know, and everybody says stress kills, stress kills, stress kills. Well, guess what the data set is? The data set is, apparently, according to this one presentation, which I'm kind of keen on because there's something else about COVID that I'll mention as well, and that is that the people who believe that stress kills, it kills. Their heart rates are, their cholesterol, their everything, all the tests, all the stuff that they tested on them to determine whether or not they were stressed enough. Sure enough, and then they'd ask them the question, do you believe that stress is bad for you? And so this woman's whole shtick was that stress actually might not be bad for you. It might be something that just kind of clicks you on and helps you respond to things. And as long as we don't perceive it as bad, then it's not. So, just to keep this an entertaining improv performance and all that sort of stuff, I'm going to describe the fact that, and you know, I always try and bring our thing back to the difference between sailing and living on land, and how it all kind of all comes together and all that sort of stuff. Well, you know, interestingly, I'm struggling with ordinary landlubber's stress. You know, I mean, the amount I owe on this boat is 1/10 of what most people have a mortgage on their house for. It's like the boatyard bill is less than most people's credit card debt, and I'm stressing out about being in debt because I don't really do that much. And and so yet in the middle of the storm, you know, and you're trying to get the pump to run, well, that's kind of stressful. When you got a 63-foot wooden schooner in a marina where there's an 80-foot hole, so you got 10 feet on either end of it, at the most, and you're trying to spin it all around, and every single vessel there is worth you and your entire families and every single friend you know's worth. You can't crash into them. That's could be considered stress. And so here's a quick story. I'm gonna try and make it quick because I know I've already realized that I'm gonna run over time on this one. And now it's not even alive because Facebook won't let me go live. So anyway, we're gonna keep going with this one. And so imagine the stress of being in an 8-foot rowing dinghy and knowing that you had a meeting with the lady in the resort that it runs the bungalows and the whole resort that's on the beach right there. And you've got to get in there to have a meeting with her in order to get some work, in order to make some money. And so you're kind of stressed about that part. However, what the part is that you oddly don't stress about, the part that you actually just pull off, is the fact that you're in an 8-foot dinghy and you've got to time the swells exactly right. And so this is how it works. You sit out there outside the swells and you zen into the ocean, and you think, okay, they come in sevens, you feel the sets, you wait for the last big swell to go by in the last set, and then you row hard, and you try and you get in there on the 3 waves that are going to be the little ones. And right when you get to the beach, what I had to do was I would do this with the oars and go this way and spin the dinghy around so it ran up on the beach stern to on the top of a wave, right? Boof. Now, Layla's mom would jump out and just hold on to the dinghy as the wave went out. And then when the next wave came in, she would kind of let go, kind of just get out of the way, because the next wave would push it up a little bit further. And so she'd get out of the way. And then when the dinghy went plop in the sand again, then I would hand our baby, who's laying in the bottom of the dinghy in a life jacket, I would, pass it to her, right? And then the next wave would come. She'd run up the beach. The next wave would come. I'd sit there with the oars, keep the bow pointed into the wave. Dinghy would go one more time up and onto the beach, and I'd grab the stern of the dinghy and I'd drag it up on the beach, and we would have made it ashore. Now, that's kind of stressful, but we never believed that stress was going to kill us. We never believed that, we never. In fact, it didn't even come across to us as stress. So it is interesting that this woman brought up this idea that there's lots of different ways of dealing with stress and all that stuff. And so, as you guys know, these moments in our project are involving sorry, admins or whoever, I'm not promoting. It's just financial, issues like yachts have, especially old wooden 70-foot schooners that are trying to keep going all around the world. They're all under stress trying to make their thing happen. And so, okay, enough about that. Here, I got something for you. I got some jokes about stress. I actually wrote them down. Okay, you ready? Just for fun, because whether I'm a little stressed that my improv performances aren't actually making enough money to keep me alive, so I'm going to try and work on them. Ready? Okay. Why are math books stressed? Because they have a limitless amount of problems. I am so stressed by work, family, etc. I decided to start running every day. I think I've reached Iowa. Okay. These are bad jokes, but that's okay. It's all about just pausing and having a giggle about anything that's really, really serious. Now, here's a couple that are actually pertinent. Sort of. I mean, anyway, you know what we're up to. We're trying to save the reefs and all this sort of stuff. So here you go. If corals get stressed, they die. What do corals get stressed about? current events. Current, yeah. Why was Gandalf hunched over and stressed out? He was understaffed. See what I mean about those two sort of being poignant in our current situation? However, good news is that we have a couple of crew possibly coming in a couple of weeks, a week or two or whatever. There's rumors that it might happen. Now, there have been hundreds of rumors during this project about how things are going to happen and what is going to come together that didn't actually manifest themselves. But I never give up. I never give up hope. I guess that's the opposite of stress. So one of the reasons I wanted to bring you guys out here is to give you hope. Because that's what, again, this entire improv performance all began as, is a way of when we all started getting locked down and all of that stuff that I'm not going to bring up that subject, but anyway, all of those things that were put into place that put everybody into a situation where we were disconnected from Mother Nature, where we were disconnected from all of the things that can lower your stress. Here we are, guys. Here we are. Here we are. This is us, wandering around, being low stressed, dreaming of a world where we all live in unity and in peace. Can you imagine the stress involved in being in a war? Let's stop that crap. Let's enjoy our amazing trees. Let's enjoy the unbelievable changes in our foreshores. Now they're going to get a little extreme from the storms, but still, Mother Ocean does it. She recreates. This place looked like hell 4 months ago. It was just covered in brown crap and the sand was brown, and now, I mean, I can't believe it. I don't know where all this white sand came from. It's astonishing. It's absolutely fantastically beautiful. So, there is hope. Things can regenerate. That's what we're going to do. We are going to create ways and areas and places and attitudes and actions that can allow things to regenerate, including human love and the lack of stress. There you go. So, give it hooray to our stalwart crew, Daniel, who provided us with a drop for good old Neptune, and some other things to keep the captain alive. And I'll post this as a recording, and I don't know why Facebook wouldn't let me go live. I hope it doesn't mean the end. It could. You never know. I mean, people who are promoting good things these days, I mean, it's not a good look for journalism and proper peace-loving people at the moment. But here's to the good ship Cassiopeia, sitting back over there, so close to being ready. I've just got to make this happen, and we will. So here's to the good ship Cassiopeia, hip hip hooray. Here's to the stalwart crew who continually give me positive feedback on all of this. I'm probably going to send all you guys a personal letter, everybody who's in our Facebook group, because it's, you know, we could, with a very limited amount from each of us, make all of this instantaneously start to happen. And so I just like have huge gratitude for how incredibly far we've come from our little misguided purchase, if you want to call it that, in Savannah. I don't believe that's true. I believe this vessel has a destiny. I believe I was sent there to save her. I believe that we will pull off all of the ramifications to reduce all of this stress and turn it into something that's absolutely amazing. And that's because of you guys. So here's to the stalwart crew. Hip hip, hooray. And to the great King Neptune. Right on in there, brother. Something I like, something Daniel likes, something a lot of people like. There you go, my friend. Take care of us when we get out there, because we're gonna get out there. Hip hip, hooray. Okay. Whew. And now I gotta try and figure out how to post this, which means, I mean, it's so much more of a pain to try and post a video than it is to post anything else. I don't even know if this is going to load to Facebook. I'm probably going to have to put it on YouTube and then provide you guys with a link, all that sort of thing. But we'll see how all this goes, and I'll catch up with you after the weekend. Woohoo! Yay for us!